In this video, let's talk about the power of honesty. Now, when we're talking about the power of honesty, let's start with being honest with ourselves. Because what I'm going to show you is that if we can't be honest with ourselves, we can't be honest with others. And a lot of us, we're not honest with ourselves. And if we're not honest with ourselves, then that means that we're lying to ourselves. And when we lie to ourselves, this is a form of disempowerment. When we lie to ourselves, it's like that's where we're leaking tremendous amounts of power. Honesty refers to truth. If we're not being truthful, full of truth, then what it means is that we're being full of lies. And if I say, would you rather be full of lies or would you rather be full of truth? Which one would you pick? And what is the truth? The truth is reality. It's real. And what is a lie? A lie is unreal. So you can see that when we're not picking truth, when we're not choosing to be honest with ourselves, and we're not valuing truth, then what we're valuing is something that's unreal. When we're not choosing reality, we're choosing unreal. An illusion, something that's unreal. This is a huge disempowerment. This is a huge, you can say, power leakage. Because if I'm choosing something that's unreal and I'm choosing to live in the unreal, full of lies, and create more and more lies, then what I'm finding is I'll actually delude myself. Every time I'm not being honest with myself, I'm choosing to live in delusion. I'm deluding myself. I continue to lie to myself. I'm sabotaging my well-being. Tremendous power comes from living a life of honesty, starting with yourself, being honest with yourself. So if we aren't being honest with ourselves and we're choosing to lie to ourselves, we're going to suffer from that. We're going to suffer the lies that we tell ourselves. We're going to suffer the lies that we choose to hold on to instead of accepting reality, instead of accepting the truth. And see that if we're not accepting the truth, it's because we're holding on to lies. We're holding on to something that's unreal. And when I'm holding on to something that's unreal and I want it to be real, that is suffering. Me thinking that I want this fantasy, this dream to be true when it's not true. And I'm living in this fantasy world that I'm creating through thought, and I'm dreaming. That's living in delusion. Living in illusion. And over here is reality. It's the truth. It's what's real. So every time I'm choosing not to be honest with myself, see that as I'm choosing to live in something that's unreal. Choosing to live in this dream. And see that I'm escaping reality to go there. And every time I'm escaping reality, I'm running from reality. I'm rejecting reality. I'm denying reality. And like I said, as reality is truth, so every time I'm rejecting truth, I'm denying truth. I'm also rejecting the power because the truth is power. It's the ultimate power. And every time I'm rejecting the ultimate power, well, I'm going to feel powerless. How could I be empowered if I'm rejecting the ultimate power? Can't. So it's funny when people say something like, well, if I'm being honest, I would say, then they say something after. Well, if I can be honest, well, if I'm telling the truth, it's like implying that that most of the time you're not honest. It's like implying that most of the time you're not truthful. Well, this one time, I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm being honest with you, no, just continue to feed me lies. So it's silly. So that's what I mean, is you start believing those lies that we tell ourselves. If we tell ourselves lies, then we're starting to believe those lies. It gets really quick that then you're just living a life of lies. If you're not honest with yourself, then you're living a life of lies. Because being honest with yourself is valuing truth. And if you don't value truth, then you're valuing lies. If you don't value truth, then you're not valuing reality. And if you don't value reality, you're valuing an illusion. You're valuing the unreal. And this is what gets us stuck in our mind. This is what gets us stuck in the past, lost in the future. When you don't like reality, you don't want to accept reality, what is right now. And instead, if I escape this to then go and create my own dream of the future, or I try and remember the past and try and live there, I'm either living in the future or I'm living in the past, and both aren't real. They're not here and now. And if I'm living in the future or if I'm living in the past, those are the places where I suffer. I suffer in my mind. We don't suffer in reality. We suffer in our mind. And our mind is essentially past and future. Because what's present, there's no thinking. It's this no mind. It just is. So honesty is a huge power. Because the more you're honest with yourself, then the more you're connected to the ultimate power, which is truth, which is reality. And when you're so connected to that ultimate power, then you find yourself that you are one with that ultimate power. So obviously, honesty is a tremendous power. It's like plugging yourself in to source, the ultimate power. When you're lying, you're disconnected. You're disconnected from reality. Lying to yourself creates that separation between you and the ultimate reality, between you and source, between you and the universe, between you and God, whatever you want to call it. As long as we continue to choose something that's unreal, something that's full of lies, delusion, illusion, then we're not valuing the universe, life, God, source, reality. And that's where we find ourselves. We find ourselves imprisoned in our own delusion that we've created. And that's why they say the truth will set you free. Because when you accept the truth, when you experience the truth and you accept that truth, it frees you from the illusion of the mind. You become free of the mind. You become free of the illusion. And being honest with yourself is one of the stepping stones to becoming free.